Hi everybody, so this is like a super quick tutorial on how I did the synth base for the Nebula today. So next I'm going to go ahead and kind of get rid of everything that we don't need so that we can just see the body. That includes the pants. I would do the hair as well, the harness tail, the rings, all that, just to get rid of it for now. So you just have the base. I would also include the body tufts because the texture that I did, it also forms really well with the tufts as well, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so in the package, you're going to get something like this. I would go ahead and, most people just throw it in here, but for me, what I like to do is create a folder. So you're going to create a folder, and let's just call it synth. And you're going to just grab it all and throw it in there. And you're just gonna wait for everything to kind of load because sometimes it takes a bit. But next you're gonna go ahead and go through all of these. I wouldn't do the matte caps, so I would do everything but the matte caps. You don't have to. It's really up to you personally by preference in regards to how this texture looks. I would keep it going to about 4096. This would help you kind of get a really good quality of like a nice synthetic metallic look, and I think that really makes it look great. I also go for high quality. Again, that's kind of personal preference, so it's really up to you what you want to do. It will bring your avatar up, so just forewarning you. Okay. So next thing, you're going to click on the body of your avatar, so that way it's highlighted all in orange like this. Now that we have our package here, and everything is showing on this screen right here, because that's really what we want to be looking at, is this. I want you guys to first go to colors and normal. And you're going to grab the body base color here. It says it in the description, so it should be super easy for you guys to figure out how to do this from the start. So grab this and put that right into the little texture box right there. Great, so that's step one. Next is going to be grabbing this body normal optimal. You're going to throw that into the normal map underneath the texture. Make sure you fix it now. If you don't do this, the normal map is going to be all wonky and it may not work as well as you want it to. So now that that's in, some things that I like to do is bring up the intensity just so that way it has more of that look. I wouldn't do it too much though, because sometimes it can get a little scrunkly, kind of like that. So bring it down a little bit more. Just enough so that way when you do end up being in VR, it does kind of look like it's popping out or going in a little bit more than it should. Get rid of the alpha map. Now, I know a lot of people don't like doing this, but personally, this is what I did. This helps get rid of a lot of things. So go up and or type in the search bar none. And you'll grab that. So that gets rid of your alpha map. Then after that, you're going to kind of hide everything. The other thing that I want you guys to go to is the decals. In the decals, it has the NSFW features and some of the other stuff that we really don't need. So let's go ahead and get rid of that decal. You can edit those if you want to be a little bit more metallic or to pop out more. That's really up to you. But since it's synthetic, I don't do that. We're gonna let that compile. All right, super fast. Another thing that I don't know if you guys do as well, but this also kind of helps me in terms of how this goes. So I go to light and data, and in there's a one receive casting shadows under the base pass. So let's pull that all the way up to 1. And then we're going to close that and we're going to go to shading. Now I know she has that at multi-layer math, and that is great and all, but if we want it to look realistic, we must change it to realistic. And I would also change the shadow tint to black. Yes. All right. Okay, so next we're going to do the outer metal layers, so the little finer details that kind of really stand out for this texture. So the first things first is we're going to grab the matte cap. Now you can use any matte cap you want. This is going to be for the metallic part. So if you want to use something different, you're more than welcome to use something different. Again, this is all personal preference. All right. Next up, we're going to go to the mask. So in the masking, this is going to be, again, the metallic areas. So everything that, if you zoom in, has these nice inner areas. Yes, I know it's all messy. That's why there's going to be a version 2, trust me. But for now, it looks really good, and I like the finished product, so we'll work on it from there. Alright, so now we're going to grab the body metallic. And you're going to place that in there, and you're going to fix now. So now it looks as it should. You can always alter how intense you want everything to be. Personally, the way that I did it, I have everything pretty low, so 0.46, because it does shine. And remember, if you're going to do emissions, it's going to be really bright in other worlds, so be very careful of what you're doing here. And then just make sure that the blending mode goes down to 0, and add also goes down to 0. This is how I did this part right here. Now you can stop here if you want. If you like the regular look of the body, but personally I do not, so I wanted to make everything kind of coincide with everything and look a little bit more shinier and be all together. So next part is the matte cap 2. Grab the body base metallic here, and you're going to put it here. The mask that's here, you're going to then grab the body base metallic, which is basically the inverse of this one, the body metallic. So you're going to grab that one, and you're going to put that in the mask as well. And you're going to fix now. Now, as you can see, everything is super duper duper bright. So in order to fix that, you are going to make sure that you do the same steps as you did pretty much the prior one. So make sure that your intensity is 0.49 or lower, and the emission strength is 0.8. You don't want it too bright because, as you can see, it's really bright still, but it's really up to you. Preference is everything. Just make sure that you test it because it might be a little bit weird. The other thing that I did too was I put base color mix to 1 and I put normal strength to 0. So it kind of evens it out a little bit more. Alright. I also got rid of the hue shift because there's really no need if this is the white part of the body. This matte cap we are not using, so we can hide that. Next up, I ended up going into the reflections and specular and doing a little bit more to that because I wanted it to shine. So in the reflections and specular, I put it at 0.005. Then for the smoothness, I put that all the way up to 1. So when you look at it from a point of view, it's really shiny, as you can see right here. So it kind of glows. That's really if you want the avatar to be super shiny. Again, up to you. I would also change things a little bit further. This is just, again, preference. And if you are going to go into reflection specular, I highly recommend you use a cube map. The one that I used, as you can see, is the default, the T-Cube default. It's usually the one that basically looks like a horizontal version of your scene. The tail aspect is super easy as well. Again, you're going to open this up, unlock the shader, then we're going to replace the texture with this one. And yes, it is all white because I got too lazy to try and figure out if I wanted to do a design on this one. So replace the texture. If you want to keep this design, that's a-okay, and you can actually add that to the matte cap, which will look really pretty. So again, that's pretty much up to you if you want to do that. You don't have to. For this one, there is no normal, so you don't have to worry about that. Just make sure that as you're going through this, you are kind of getting rid of the other stuff. So like the details here, I don't know if you noticed, but if you open this up, it'll show you the tail matte cap, or normal map, sorry. And that's gonna be something that is up to you if you want to keep. Personally, I don't want it, so I turn that off. Then I go to light data again, and we're going to make sure that it matches the body. This can be a little tricky because sometimes in VR, the lights are a little bit different. So things kind of switch back and forth. If you really want to figure it out, I suggest doing a test build, but for the most part, just test it out in VR chat, and if it still doesn't look right, then go back into Unity and either up the intensity of the tail via the matte cap or lower it. Again, the missions too play a huge part, so be very careful on what you're doing with that. So again, we're going to take the base, pass, directional, and baked lighting section. We're going to find received casted shadows, and we're going to bring that all the way to 1. This just helps it look a little bit more realistic in normal lighting. Bring that all the way to black, go to realistic. And here we go. So I'm going to hide this matte cap. We're going to go back to where we were before. The easiest way to get back to where you were before, in case you get lost like how I did here, is to go to your texture that you pulled this from, and you're gonna grab that. There we go, we're back. Awesome. Okay, so the body is this matte cap, and you're gonna put that here. Now, as you can see, it's tying up to the emissive again, so we're gonna go ahead and remove this mask and type in none. Once that's done, it's going to take over the whole tail. As you can see, it has got a high number of intensity. So what I ended up doing to make this work is I put it at 0.26, the emission strength at 0, and the base color mix at 1. The normal strength, make sure you put it at 0. And then as you scroll down, just make sure there's no hue shift, because there's really no color to hue shift. Now, if you had a matte cap that had colors, then you can definitely hue shift it and really change the color up if you really wanted to. But that's, again, preference. That's really up to you guys if that's what you want to do. Now, I kind of did the same thing for the reflections and speculars. So I went back here, reflection and specular, and I changed it to 0.005, again, like the same texture as the body, and put 1. Then for the packed mats, I know you're not supposed to do this, but sometimes I put the tail there. You don't have to, that's really up to you. I'm not going to in this tutorial because I've already done this. So you're going to put 1 and 5, and then you're going to find that same cube map. So once that's done, then you're done. That's it. Congratulations, you now have a synth texture. So remember, you can change this to any matte cap that you want. I used matte caps because it's a lot easier to make it look very clean, very precise, and very, I guess, synthetic. I love this texture, how I made it. It was super fun. I took a lot of inspiration from Madara from Arcane, and I love the way that some of the other like hyaenid synth textures from like Hollow Sheep, where they are huge inspiration to me, and I have loved every minute of seeing what they have to make. So for those of you that you know, love textures like this, please go check out Hollow Sheep. She's amazing. Also go check out the show Arcane. It is super good too. I also have a sneak peek coming soon, potentially an Arcane texture as well, so please keep an eye out for that. And as far as further synth style stuff, please also look on out for that. I'm really hoping to get some textures out for like Dante and some Kyokos and some other stuff too, because I think it'd really be cool to have kind of a collection of synths. They're really pretty, they look very beautiful, and thank you guys so much for coming in. I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day. Have a wonderful evening, and I hope you enjoy this texture as much as I did. See you. Bye.